As you know, I have the easy path. I don't have to say anything about me, okay? All right, let's start it. This question is for each one of you, and I'm going to start with you, Castor, Dr. Castor. Let's start by going back to the beginning. What inspired you to start your business, and what was that aha moment when you knew you had something special?
So my inspiration came from my parents. I grew up with parents who were entrepreneurs. So at a very young age, seeing my mom, who came here from Haiti, and was a very successful businesswoman who had multiple businesses. My mom actually, I think, worked very little. She worked a 9 to 5, maybe under a year, and her entire life, she's in her 60s now, and she's been an entrepreneur. So my passion really came from that. Starting out my career as a board-certified psychiatric nurse practitioner in 2019, I started off in community mental health, but I was very limited. There was so much that I wanted to do that I couldn't do. Specifically, it was in Naples, and that aha moment for me was when we were getting a lot of like Haitian migrant clients that were being rejected of services that we had for free that I knew was available. And they were constantly rejected. And it bothered me. But again, I was limited because it wasn't my organization. There was very little, my voice didn't stand out because, I wasn't the owner and operator. It was at that very moment that I decided to take the initiative to do my research to find out how and when and how quickly I could establish my own practice, which that's the birth of Clear Path Wellness Lounge was in 2022. So Cinco de Mayo, May 5th, this year will be the 3rd year anniversary for Clear Path.
Thank you. I want each one of you that listening today, take the moment to relate to the person that's talking. This is her story. That could be your story too. And then learn from her story so you can see your next when it's going to happen. Dr. Castor. So next is Dr. Woody. It's the same question going back to the beginning. Tell us.
Thank you.
It's
Hello? Oh, here we go. Nice to be back again. Growing up in Haiti, I knew I wanted to become a doctor. I used to go after these small lizards, take a wash, kill them, and take a blade, open the stomach instead of what's inside. So I said, So I think that gave me the sign that I want to become a doctor. Moved to Chicago. When I applied to medical school, my parents did not have the money to pay for my tuition. So I applied for a federal scholarship that came with a condition. After you're done, for every year we sponsor you, you have to work for us in a shortage area. Okay, no problem, I did. I completed my medical training, and then the feds knock on my door. It's payback time. Your choice, you go to Alaska and work with the Eskimos. Number 2, you work with the Indian reservation, or you go deep south in Mississippi and work in a rural area. That wasn't too sexy to me. So I convinced them, look, there are a lot of Haitian refugees coming from Haiti to Miami, by boats. And I think that since I speak the language, maybe I can be of some service. They thought about this. They said, yes. I said, yes. So they got me a job at Borinquen Healthcare Center. So I worked there for 4 years. And after my 4 years, they told me, well, it's time to go back to Chicago. I said, no. It's okay. I'll stay in Miami. So I looked around, and I found out there's a doctor who was selling a small practice in North Miami on 119th. And I went to see him. He was a retiring physician. I said, I don't have much money. So I negotiated. I bought a practice for $27,000. I give $5,000 down, and he financed it for me for 5 years. What a deal. And I was the first black physician in the city of North Miami. In fact, I have the plaque that says that. So I started going around the community. Every day I used to go to lunch to a different restaurant and bring a card holder with some cards. And then I had a radio show they called Power Doctor with Ringo Kaya, Dr. Castelli, and talking about healthcare. And my practice exploded. And over the years, it doubled to the point that I have now one of the largest facilities in Miami. So,
Let me add to what Dr. Moise says. Sometimes you need a silent mentor. And I have to add to it. Dr. Moise was my silent mentor in 1993, 1994. I did not know him, except I was driving in front of his practice. And I said to myself, when I grow up, I want to be like this guy. I don't know what happened to me, by the way. But I'm here. Dr. Moise, thank you for all you do. Next question, Nikki. It's your haha moment, and you do things that none of us, at least I don't know yet, are doing. Give us your haha.
Bonjour tout le monde. Is it on? Can y'all hear me? Yes. We gotta hold it. Bonjour tout le monde. All right, y'all having a good day so far? Yes. All right, I love that. Me too. My aha moment. This whole thing started with me having a crisis with my hair. So when I was a teenager, the decision was made for me for them to put a relaxer in my hair. At first, I loved it. I looked good. I was slaying, you know. But over time, there was a lot of damage. And no matter what I did, I could never get my hair to actually look and feel healthy. And ladies in the room, you know, you could have the nicest outfit. If your hair's not slaying, honey, it ain't popping. We're not going anywhere. Okay? It's the crown. So I made the decision that I'm going to return natural, but I had no idea what that looked like anymore because it's been a long time, and my parents up to that point were taking care of my hair. So I said, I took the coward route. I did a transition instead of a big chop. I didn't shave it off and start over. So it's the process of mixing products together, ingredients in my kitchen, and I discovered things that worked for me. That is how my first brand, Curls Dynasty, was born. I did not set out to start a business. I set out to create a solution for myself that along the way, people around me saw the results and they came alongside me and they could identify with the solution, and that's how this business took off. My aha moment was when, like I said, I did not start out wanting to start a business. But along the way of using my items and posting about them on social media, and at every turn, the demand just kept increasing. At one point, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna create a little Etsy shop and just put it online, because me walking around with bottles of oil in my bag is getting a little crazy. I need a way to be able to ship stuff to people without breaking the bank in my pocket, because at the time, Sissy's working that 9 to 5, we got a family. So when I created that Etsy shop, with no ads running, no advertising whatsoever, just authentically showing up every day and talking to people and using my items, my aha moment was when somebody all the way in Israel placed an order. And I was like, how on earth? So I think that was at that moment it dawned on me that I'm onto something. There's something here that people have found value in it, they can identify with. And I took it upon myself. It's a sign to take it as far as I could and to just change my mindset to become the person I needed to be that could carry something like this to the masses.
Thank you. You heard Dr. Castor, you heard Dr. Moise. If we have to compare the time frame, Moise long time ago and still doing it, so we appreciate it. Dr. Castor just started. So we have Nikki actually probably just started too. So you here tonight, I do not know how long you've been starting your own business, how long you've been thinking about it, but I want you to understand your business matter. You just need to solve a problem. I do not know what problem you're going to solve. It's up for you to figure it out. The next person is actually the same question too, is Carl. He's in real estate. There's thousands of agents, but he's very successful. Carl, give us your aha moment.
Oh, yeah, it started very early. But before we start, I want to everybody give a round of applause because, Princeton, you put an all-star panel here. Man. This is just amazing. All right, it started at 15 years old, so I'm not even going to talk about real estate. I don't like being dependent on nobody, even my parents, believe it or not. So I went and got a job. And I started working. It was a call center where people used to call Miami from Haiti. And I worked there for 3 weeks. And my dad one day told me, like, okay, now you're making money, put fuel in the car. And I'm like, what do you mean? He was like, yeah, you're making money. I'm like, they were supposed to pay me? He said, yeah. I'm like, oh, okay. So I went to the lady and I'm like, hey, my dad said you're supposed to pay me, so can I get the money? She was like, oh, I wanted to tell you, we don't need you anymore. And I'm like, wow. So that started me asking my uncle to go buy cookies at Walmart at the time and actually send them back to Haiti, and I started selling them in the school. And from there, it just took off to me selling in multiple schools in Haiti. And my aha moment was when my dad asked me if I could help him pay my brother's college. And that's when I knew I was up to something. And so this is how it never stopped till today.
All right, can you clap for that? You heard this story, guys. Even me, it's the first time I'm hearing these things. I'm with this guy all the time. Dr. Castro, this question is for you. Clear Path Wellness focus heavily on trauma, right? How you balance it and to wanting your practice and maintain yourself, your care, because I know owning the business, it's not easy. What is the balance that you have between owning your business and, of course, stay focused on you also?
Just remembering why I started and learning how I don't necessarily have to carry the weight of the world, because I'll give a little backstory. So, growing up with Haitian parents, I was raised here, so first generation. Growing up Haitian for me, honestly, I don't know. I know a lot of people can relate, was traumatic within itself. It just really was, because, you're constantly judged, you're overly criticized. I mean, looking back at it, they didn't do it to hurt us. They did it as a form of motivation. But that form of motivation was turned into trauma. And also to being a 15-year-old teen who was pregnant. I had my first child at 16 years old. That was an extremely traumatic experience for me. I contemplated suicide. I mean, it was just insane. So growing up and achieving all of the things that I've done, and looking back where I came from, and not ever I never envisioned the woman that I am today, because I just couldn't. I was too heavily rooted in my trauma. So when people come to me and clients come to me and they're in that, I don't oftentimes share my story because it's not about me. But, I have a way, because I know what trauma is. I know what it feels like. I know what it looks like. I know the results of trauma. So I have a way of being able to place myself in their shoes. Because although I may not be able to relate directly to every situation, I can relate to a lot. So in that moment, I'm there. But once I'm away and I step away and I'm done with my clients, I had to learn how to just leave it where it was at. Because as a mental health provider, I was providing mental health care before I even became licensed. Because as a nurse on the unit, I knew all of my patients' business. I wanted to know why they were there. I wanted to know their story. I wanted to know their background, and I found myself constantly motivating, encouraging, and helping people reveal things. I mean, people were revealing things to me that they never told anyone. So I knew at that moment I had a gift. But also, it can be draining. It can be draining. And I didn't know initially how to balance it until I realized, I have a family of my own. I have children who depend on me. I have children who need me more than these clients or people that I encounter on a daily basis. So just what I do to balance myself is just implement a lot of self-care. I pour a lot into myself. I don't engage in conversations with people who gossip, who entertain negativity. I don't watch TV at all. I have no clue what's going on in the world unless I see it on social media, unless I hear it. And people say, well, don't you want to know what's going on in the world? I said, I will know. Because if it's that serious, somebody's going to tell me. And that's the way that I protect my sanity. That's the way that I protect my peace. And that's what gives me balance.
Thank you. Dr. Woody, you next. Different question though, because you seasoned, you've been in business for a long time. I will ask you this question. What leadership quality do you believe are non-negotiate for building a business that lasts for that long? So you've been in business for over 30 years and you last, and this is not something we can say in our community. Give us your story. What makes it, what does it for you?
Well, let me convert that into strategies. Three of them: education, dedication, application. Let me take one at a time. Education. As you know, knowledge is power, right? In medical school, they taught us how to become physician, but they did not teach us anything but business. And healthcare is business. So one of the best decisions I've done is to, while I'm practicing medicine, go back to school, went to University of Miami, and for 2.5 years, every weekend, earn a master's in business administration. And you learn about marketing, about economics, and things like that, and so on. But I didn't stop there. I kept going. As most of you know, went to law school and became an attorney as well. So dedication, all the knowledge that I've acquired from medical, from business and legal school, that give you a different perspective in things. So I apply them to my business and to excellence. In application, same thing. With all this knowledge, I not only I practice it, in my business, but also I join a lot of boards. And all these boards, I am the first Haitian who ever been on these boards. Greater Miami Chamber of Commerce, University of Miami Board of Trustees. And when you sit on the board and you listen to some of these entrepreneurs, these individuals talking, you learn from them. And you apply them to your business as well. So that's why we have such a high level of satisfaction and excellence, because you have all the experience, not only educationally, but also by experience as well.
Thank you. All right. To answer Dr. Moise, each one of you need a mentor. You need someone to guide you. I don't know who that person is going to be. Do not just pick your mentor. Even though your mentor may not pick you, but if you pick your mentor, it might be something really, really good for you. Next question is for you, Nikki Nu. You asked me to say Nikki Nu, is that correct? You start your journey at home and you build something that, very stand out. And what strategy can you tell us you use in that crowd of beauty and that make you who you are today?
Okay, I'm gonna lay it on y'all. Real talk. I gotta be myself. Everybody else is literally taken. As he said, that space is so crowded. And when I started to peek my head out, I had so many people telling me, you're not gonna make it. It is too crowded. I even had a very close friend of mine, I would even say a best friend at the time, tell me, you're gonna fail. And I took that as a challenge because here I am at the time still doing something that I'm doing just for fun because I enjoy it, helping myself and helping other women now around me. But now you're telling me that I'm not gonna make it. And if it's one thing about me, I love when people doubt me. I love being an underdog because now. So it is very important for you to show up authentically in what it is you're doing. It is important for you to enjoy what you're doing because if you cannot sell it to yourself, if you cannot sell it to somebody else, if you cannot invest in it totally yourself, other people will not come buy into it if you're not yourself convinced. Okay? So that helped me stand out. I showed up confidently in the things that I was good at the time, and I did so consistently. I logged in on one message and on who that message is for. And I showed up every day and delivered it until today.
Thank you. Next question is for Carl. On a personal level, I don't do real estate, but I do investment in real estate. There's one thing that someone told me a long time ago: don't rely on real estate that much. And for you build entire real estate. I'm assuming that's all you do plus. And then you do it toward kindness and service. How did you lead? And I'm not saying there's not that many real estate agents in our community, but you stand out in the crowd of thousands of guys with that simple message, the nice agent.
Wow. The truth is, at every argument, the basis of it is money. So what I've learned at the very beginning of my career is take money out of the equation and everything else will resolve itself. So I built my entire career based on that kindness. The nice agent, believe it or not, it's not just a name, it's just who I am as a person. And what I try to teach my agents all the time, like, if you get to a situation and you cannot be nice, just walk away from it. And that's it. And for me, to tell you the truth, when I first started real estate, for me to give you the story, I walked to this guy's brokerage, and then he sat me down and he was like, "You are going to be very successful." The guy just met me not even like 15 minutes ago. And I told him, like, "Why you said that?" He said, "Because if you latch on something, you're not going to let go. This is something that all of you that want to be in business need to learn. Once you latch, be like a tiger. You don't let go." And I told him, like, "We have a problem. I don't have a car." And he said, "All right." So he put his hand in his pocket and literally gave me his car. And he said, "Go ahead, go make money." And at that point, what I'm going to tell you that I've learned is, if you don't believe in yourself, you don't believe that you can do it, find that person that believes in you, close your eyes and just jump, okay? Because if he did not do that, I wouldn't be here today talking to you. Of course, 12 years forward, I did the same for one of my agents, and I'm hoping he does the same down the road. So yes, this is the nice agent.
Hey. This question I'm going to ask each one of you. I'm going to start with Dr. Castor. For those of you looking to build your business, so I know you're in healthcare, of course, and wellness, what one thing you wish you knew before you start your business? Give me one thing or two you wish you knew before you start.
I wish I knew the importance of having a mentor. You mentioned that Dr. Moise was your mentor, and I didn't understand because in the healthcare industry, there's a lot of gatekeeping, at least in South Florida, because I find that it's very different in other areas. So because of that, and because of my Haitian background, I'm not gonna, go and appease people, whatever. Just having that mindset, which was a scarcity and a poverty mindset, to be honest with you. When I look back at it, I think I lost. I took a lot of unnecessary losses because the people that I did seek out for mentorship, they're looking back at me and saying, "Oh my gosh, you can be an asset to me," and I'm like, "Wait, I'm coming to you and I'm paying you. How can I now be an asset to you if I'm paying you?" And it was at that time that I realized, like, man, one of the biggest mistakes. So anybody in here who is contemplating business, if you have a plan or if you started a process and you don't have a mentor, I strongly urge you to seek mentorship, not just from anyone, but a mentor who is in your lane, a mentor who is successful, okay, who has sustained their business. It is so important because now with social media, someone's in business for 6 months and they're a mentor and they're expert. And that's not the true definition of expertise. Dr. Moise is an expert. He's been in business over 30 years, with it, so he can tell you how to open and sustain a profitable and successful practice. There's certain things that I can tell you about mental health because I've been in it for over 5 years, but I wouldn't consider myself an expert. So seek mentorship and seek it from the right individual. And don't be afraid to ask questions because it matters. Because you may ask a question that helps you identify that, you know, you're not compatible with that person because compatibility matters. That's what happened.
Thank you. Dr. Moyes, you're going to have the same question.
No problem. I wish I knew earlier that medicine is not just a profession, but it's also a business. I share with you that I went back to school to get an MBA, but it was several years after I started my practice. So when I first started practicing, if you give me a balance sheet, all I see is numbers. I didn't know what it meant. You know, what's all these numbers? You know? So that's one thing I wish that I had known. So like I would have started that business part of it, earlier. So you can be a successful physician in terms of knowledge, but if you don't know how to run a business, you can't pay your bills. So you really have to understand the business aspect of medicine or the business aspect of what you do in general. Thank you.
Thank you. Nikki Nu, same question.
I wish I knew and understood how much power there is in my pain. Because it is the one thing, it's one thing that everybody, we all have something, an area in our lives where we're experiencing a level of pain right now, right? It's what you do with it. It's how you perceive it, it's your mindset. We've all been through stuff. And our default when we are hurt would be to lay down. You know, we're just gonna be in our pain. But I noticed that over the years, from growing up in Haiti, the different things I've had to overcome, and they call us un peuple qui resilient, right? And if we can channel, my God, if we learn to channel the pain in ways that is constructive and we turn it into fuel for us, we really can be unstoppable. So the day that I realized that my mind really is a battlefield and everything starts up here, how much value there is beyond growing up when they're telling you, oh, you're smart, you can do anything. But when you really own that, the things that are in here, if you can show up and actually have the nerve to birth your ideas into the world and push them forward, and whatever pain, whatever people say, whatever you don't have, if you can focus and turn that into power, you truly can serve people and make your name great.
Carl?
Two things that I wish I've learned. One, success is not selfish. If at the beginning I knock on the successful people's doors, there's a lot of mistakes that I wouldn't make. When we grew up in Haiti, we were taught that successful people, either they're doing something illegal or they want to take advantage of you. So you're scared of them every time you see them. And I wish I kicked that mindset out of my mind from the very beginning. The second thing that I would say is understand that you have to not only love people, but you have to love what you're doing. If you don't find that passion inside your heart, whenever you take that first punch, you're going to say, KO, I'm done. Because the world you are about to enter, if you're not in it yet, it's all about punches. Whoever can stand up, whoever can stomach the pain, they're going to do 30 years just like him. So this is what it's about.
Thank you. Carl, I'm going to start with you again. It's another question. You came to the U.S. with just 65, but I'll say 55, and building thriving business. What mindset shift was most important for you in your journey from survival mode? And like I said before, not that many people survive in real estate. And what leadership strategy did you use to help you where you are today?
$65. Yes, it was 65. Yeah, August 30th, 2000. So it's going to be almost 25 years. I had to learn to implement. And one thing I'm going to tell everybody here is you're learning a lot. And Dr. Moise actually said it, application. But a lot of us will leave this room and forget. Because somehow after college, we forget that we're supposed to implement. There was a way they taught you that the sky is blue. There's a way they taught you how to do multiplication. And now that you're learning all of this and you forget on how to implement it. So I had to learn to implement. If I hear something from Dr. Moise, I hear something from Dr. Castor, from you, from everybody, I have to go home and make a plan on how I'm going to implement it. And this is what I've been doing, and this is how I have all those successful businesses. Because every time that somebody give me an idea and I'm like, okay, so this is how I'm going to implement it into my business. Like right now, we just learned about ChatGPT. I'm going to tell you, I won't sleep tonight. It's just the way it is. And once you do that, success is right around the corner.
Next question for you is for you, Nikki. You scaled up from kitchen expert to what you are today in beauty, right? How did you know when it was time to scale? Before I let you answer that question, for me, scale was put a number, right? In my business, you know what? I say if I can make it to 250,000, I'd be good, right? That was the mindset. So for me, for you, what was the growing pain that came with that scale up that you are doing today?
Growth, when it's time to grow, you will know. You will discern it. It will be uncomfortable. You can't deny it. It will not be denied. You know how they say an opportunity knocks? There was a lot of knocking. The demand was great, and I had to learn to get over myself to actually rise to the occasion. I would say there's been a lot of seasons of scaling throughout the years for both my businesses at this point. I'm gonna use the biggest example was when Curls Dynasty attracted the attention of Target stores. And that was my first major national retail partner. So up to that point, we are in our little warehouse. We're still making everything by hand, guys. And we went from making hundreds of units for each item, and at the time my line had 8 items. So it's me, my friends, my sister, cousins, and we're in there doing things by hand. We're pumping with a little machine using. And Target comes and they say they need a couple thousands of 5 different items. Now, mind you, we don't have a ton of capital sitting here to just go ahead and say, okay, let's take care of this. And at that point in time, I did not even have a relationship with a manufacturer that I could just turn over my formulas to for them to just go ahead and make it for me. And even if that were the case, there's a 8 to 12 weeks lead time. So am I gonna miss out on the opportunity, or am I gonna figure it out? And as a business owner, as an entrepreneur, that's all you ever do. You're a problem solver, you're figuring stuff out every single day. Put that hat on, honey, you're gonna need it. There's no getting around it. You're solving a problem every single day. So I had to align myself with people in the industry that had the wisdom, so mentorship, again, because up to that point, there was nobody else around me who was in the beauty industry, and even more so that were going into major retail. So I had to go online to find the people that I could connect with, and God certainly made provision by sending me the right people that were able to guide me, advise me. So not only was I able to get the funding, I had the mentorship to guide me through this process. So when growth is coming, it will be undeniable. If you've done what it is you set out to do well, people will continue to flock to you. The demand will increase. That's how you know it's time for growth. Are you going to rise to the occasion? And that's really back to your mind. Are you the person that's gonna let it flop? Or are you gonna take the opportunity? So that moment stretched myself and my team at the time, family and friends, because we really were making thousands of products all of a sudden, fulfilling these orders, learning how to put pallets together. I had no idea how to even do that. Logistics, I had to learn about logistics really, really quickly to be able to take advantage of that. And here we are today. They were my first major national retailer, and then we got into Walmart, then we got into Kroger stores, And now we are able to talk about Curls Dynasty as a nationally renowned brand and push, Haiti forward in the process of doing so because c'est premier haïtien qui te fait ça.
Before I go to the next question, I just have to add a few things before I get to Dr. Moise. As far for me, it's you need God in everything that you do. And to me, we talked about you helping you be successful. But God, if it's not in the middle of it, forget about it. So my next question is for Dr. Moise. Are you truly expand you in different role? You're in healthcare, and you're in aesthetics, and we do not even know the next thing that you're doing because you do so much. What advice would you give to the entrepreneur thinking about diversifying the business? Because you and I, we can say it, before you do the next thing, you have to be really good at the first one first, right? So you diversify, in our eyes, you are successful because, I don't know for you, tell us, what's helped you?
Great question. Number one, you have to have the capital to start. You may have a good idea, but if you have the money to get started, then you have no business. I remember when I bought a small little practice, and I had 2 examining rooms, and my practice exploded. And I had people waiting in the waiting room, and I couldn't get them to flow because I only had 2 examining rooms. I said, well, I need to expand. So, and I didn't have the money. I had enough money to run the operation, but not money to expand. So I draw a plan for a new building, and I took it to Barnett Bank at the time. And one of my local banker liked the idea, and she funded me, and I built my facility. So that's number one. You have to have the initial capital. Number 2, outstanding customer service. I cannot stress this enough. Particularly in the Haitian community, they like to be touched, they like to be talked to, they like to feel that they're special. And that helps build trust and long-term loyalty. Number 3, innovations. You'll just learn about AI, ChatGPT this morning. This is so important. In medicine, you have new treatments all the time. And in your field, same thing. Now, they're talking about stem cells, about ozone treatment. Instead of having surgery, you can inject the stem cells into your different joints, and that help generate a new cardiac and so on. So we have so many new things happening out there now. So make sure you stay on top of innovation in your field. Number 3, you have to be in touch with your community. Okay, develop strong tie with them. Chamber of Commerce, the churches, those souls are very, very important. And lastly, please give back to your community. If you made it, don't just give back. I've helped so many students. I have one gentleman now who's an attorney at Allen Knight, and I gave him a scholarship for law school. There's another one, I give a scholarship now for medical school. Now he's a board-certified psychiatrist in Maryland. So try to do as much as you can for the community. It's a good feeling, and God watches you, for all your blessing.
Dr. Castor here. Before I go to the last question, I just want to ask you this question. You're in a space where so many of us in our community does not believe in mental health. I want you to answer this question for us. Most people will tell us, pray it out. Pray for the person. I'm going to try to see if I can find you some customers today, okay? You don't have to pray it out all the time. So what advice would you tell anyone in the room that actually go into mental crisis?
That's one of my favorite, that's a debate that I'm always having because I am a woman of faith. I do believe in God. You know, God has done so much for me, so I certainly believe, but I also know that God isn't just going to come and just provide miracles while I'm sitting in my room, sitting in my house, crying and complaining about my problems. That's not the God that we serve. I mean, yes, miracles are possible, but I always tell them, I use this line and I wear it out: faith without works is dead. Because God didn't just create providers, healthcare providers, or business owners in general. Because it's not just about healthcare, just business in general. Like everyone who has a business in here is solving a problem. No matter what problem, no matter how big or small, but you're solving something. You're providing a service that's going to help someone. So when they come to me and they talk about, and I'm telling you, I've had some clients that have had even, for example, I had a lady who was going through a divorce and who developed panic attacks. She had herpes. She was waiting for her HIV results and everything, and she was heavy in the church, grew up in the church, was still active in the church. Her husband was still active in the church, and she had to come to me in silence. And she was like, I said, well, why is it anybody's concern in the church while you're even coming to see me? Because that's not their business. That's one. And why is it that everybody glorifies diabetes, high blood pressure, dialysis, everything else, but when it comes to your mental well-being, it's so frowned upon? When I go, I've visited so many different churches because, you know, religion, spirituality is something that just intrigues me. And one thing that is very common, and I'm not trying to label anyone, but I'm going to speak specifically about the Black churches, whether it's Haitian, American, whatever it is. One thing that I see that's going on in our community is a plague, right? And what I mean by that is people are dying, and they're dying in silence. When I go in, I don't see a lot of joy. I don't. And you're praying morning, noon, and night. You don't miss a Bible study. You don't miss a Sunday. But yet, your face looks like misery. There's a problem. There's a disconnect. You know, so when I break it down like that and I tell them, it's okay. It's okay to not be okay. And more importantly, you don't have to do it alone. Because how do you think God answers prayer? So you're praying morning, noon, and night. You're fasting. You're doing all this. But the results haven't changed. The results haven't changed. You're still having panic attacks. You still can't sleep. You're still waking up every 2 hours. You're still having nightmares. You're still doing those things. What do you think? What's going to click? What are you waiting for? Are you waiting for validation from the pastors? Because I've been bold enough and audacious enough to have this conversation with community leaders because it upsets me, because I find that a lot of people oftentimes waits for the pastor or the priest or whoever it is to say, it's okay. And I often tell them, it's not a spirit. Some of it may be, and I'm not saying, but for the most part, it's not a spirit, because guess what? If your husband or wife cheated on you and they had an outside child and you're anxious and now you're panicking about that, that's an actual situation that caused trauma, right? That's an actual situation. That's not a spirit. That was an action that took place that caused a reaction. So what are you going to do about it? If you had a child that's on drugs all of a sudden, that's an action that took place that caused the result of trauma, or it caused the reaction. What are you going to do about it? Yes, you're praying to God, but how does God answer prayers? Through people, through us. So that's how I break it down to them. And honestly, a lot of Christians that are clients of mine, a lot of them are even okay with taking medications now. And they say, you know what I had one lady who grew up in a church, and she is in her 40s. She has several children, a husband, and all those things. And she said, you know what, I'm just unhappy. I just told my husband we can't have another kid. It's just too much. I come to work, I'm cleaning, I'm doing all these things. The kids said I'm a mean mom. I started her off on an antidepressant. Finally, I said, listen, we have to get you on something. She's not sleeping. Started her off on something for sleep. Saw her in a month, 4 weeks. She said, my God. She said, why did it take me so long to do this? She said, I'm a new woman. Not only my husband is happier, I'm excited about sex now, but my kids, they're like, Mommy, what happened to you? So I'm here to tell you, if you're in this room, and I can almost tell you that more than 50% of people in this room is dealing with something. And a lot of the time, especially with successful people, you deal with it in silence because of shame. Because you look so good, you present so well, how dare you have a problem, or how dare you admit out loud that you're going through something, you're afraid of judgment. But I'm here to tell you, people don't have to know your business. I'm not going out saying, hey, by the way, Dr. Marjorie came to see me because she's anxious. That's not what we're doing. You know, we have to protect your privacy. So don't be afraid. And now with telehealth, you don't even have to go in the office. So don't be afraid to take care of yourself mentally. There's no shame when it comes to your struggles. Just how you go out to the store and buy Tylenol for a headache, seek mental health services when you're not feeling well.
Thank you. I wish I could go on, but I can't because Dr. Moise told me she has to go to Miami Heat today. All right, the last question, I will call it your final statement. And the reason why I call it final statement, you know who you are, and you know what made you, and you know what you do to make you who you are. I'm going to start with you, Carl. Give us your final statement.
I'll break it down into two parts. That one, I learned it from my mom. There's two currencies in the world. You have money and you have favors. Only a fool believes money is more valuable. You have to learn to be the help before you get help, okay? Every time you help someone is you depositing in the God's favors account. And when the time comes for you to get help, you'll be surprised you get it back tenfold. The second one is I was interviewing someone on my podcast, and he said something to me, and I carry it forever, so I'll share it with you. He said to me, Carl, every morning I wake up, I try to be the person I needed 10 years ago. And that one hit me hard, because 10 years ago I needed someone. 10 years ago, you needed someone. So try to be that person for someone.
Thank you. Nikki, I know you're looking at me. It's you.
It's me. Ladies and gentlemen, you were created in God's image. That means you have God in you. That means you have creative power. And whatever it is that he said about you, to you, is true. You can stand on that, and you can take that to market. That means he says you're able. That means you can achieve great things. You are children of the Most High King. Do you know what that means? So when you start to operate from that mind frame, y'all, this is what I want y'all to leave this room with. You absolutely can. You can achieve. And it's not just, oh yeah, you can do anything. You literally can. The Bible says you can do all things. How many things? All things. So please, forgive my French, have the balls to go out there and do the thing that you are called to do. Walk in your purpose, walk unashamedly, walk boldly. And when God calls you to something else, enter a room like he called you to be there. Okay? And in the process of doing these things, remember his commandment. The way to success is by serving other people. Like the nice agent here, he said to love on each other. So when you show up authentically in your identity as who God made you to be, and you're serving his people and loving his people, that is success.
Dr. Moise, I'm not going to let you run right now, but you have to say your story.
I'd like to maybe share a personal success story with you, just to show you that when God wants something to happen, that it happens. And all you have to do, just follow his lead, okay? You know when your kids go to school And when this is one of the kids' birthday, the parents invite the kids and the parent, and vice versa. So after the course of a year, you go to 3 or 4 or 5 different parties, and you talk to the parents. And there's one gentleman who approached me one day and says, Dr. Moise, I know you're a doctor. I just bought a telemedicine company, and I'd like for you to invest in that company. So I told him that, you know what, man, I'm a old-time doctor, man. I like to touch my patient. I'm not going to see somebody on video and then prescribe something to the pharmacy, online, things like that. That's not my style. So I pushed him off. The next party, he came to me again. Said, Dr. Moise, So the guy bucked me so much, I said, okay, fine. Just to get it on my back, I invested $100,000 with this guy, right? Next year, he came back and said, you know what, we're doing better, but we need more money. I put in another $100,000. So over the course of 10 years, I invested $500,000 with this guy. My wife would tell me, you know what, you'll never see that money, okay? And then COVID hit. Nobody wanted to go to the doctor. Everything was telemedicine. The stocks just exploded. The name of the company, by the way, is public. It's MD Live. MD Live. And then the company did so well that Aetna came in and bought the company for $2 billion. Now, it's not my money. But my share, I got 36 times my initial investment. And for something that I had no interest, I just did it so that's God's work. Yes.
Dr. Gaston, you have the last word, maybe before the last.
So my last word or my advice to anyone in here is just, believe in who you are. You don't have the need to, there's no need to compete. There's no need to compare, because comparison is the thief of joy. All of us are up here. All of us came from somewhere. We weren't always who we are today. We came from somewhere. Maybe you didn't see it, but there was a struggle that came, at least for each and every one of us. That struggle looked different for each and every one of us. So your struggle may be looking different, but just understand that you have the power to do whatever it is. Just to kind of piggyback on what Miss Nikki said, several years ago, I couldn't be on a stage talking to anyone without stuttering 1,000,000 times. I would walk into a room filled with these many people, and my heart rate would be at 150 per minute. I mean, no exaggeration. And they were, oh my gosh, you look so good. Oh my gosh, you look so confident. They didn't know that I was struggling, because I struggled with social anxiety really, really bad. And I didn't know at the time that it was social anxiety. But what it was is because I lacked the confidence. And how did I lack confidence? People are like, oh my gosh, you're an attractive woman. How could you lack confidence? It didn't come from home, but it came from people. Oh, she thinks she's this, and she thinks she's pretty, and she thinks she's all that. I took that personal. So I was like, you know what? Let me just dim my light. Let me put myself in a corner. I don't want too many people looking at me. And that affected me significantly. And it wasn't up until around maybe after COVID, that everybody was going live, and I started going live. People was like, you know what, you need to speak more. You need to speak more, and people started inviting me. And the more and more invitations that I got, the more and more comfortable I became who I am. The more and more comfortable I am with my success and where I am at life. Don't ever let anyone make you feel guilty for how you look, who you are, where you're going, your status, or anything like that. Because let me tell you, if I continue to have that mindset, or I continue to let those things affect me, I wouldn't have been on the stage with all of these successful people today. I wouldn't have accepted the invitation. So understand who you are. Don't compare yourself to me or anybody here, but look yourself in the mirror and claim that success that God destined you to have.
Absolutely. Amen.
In closing, starting a business is one of the boldest, most courageous things a person can do. You're stepping into the unknown, building something from the ground up, often with nothing but a dream, an idea, and a deep belief that you can make a difference. And that belief is powerful. It's the foundation of every successful business that ever exists, just like our panel today. But let's be real. The journey is not easy. There are moments when it feels like nothing is working, when doors are closed, when people doubt you, when money is tight, and the stress is high. You probably need Dr. Castro or Dr. Marjorie. My experience is business. I have people that owe me a lot of money that filed bankruptcy. What you gonna do? These are the moments that test you, who you are. These are the days that shape your future, because what separates successful people from everyone else isn't just talent or resources. It's good, resilience, unshakable mindset, and I'll add, you need God. Every failure you face is a lesson. Every obstacle, an opportunity for you to grow. Every no you hear is one step closer to the yes that changed everything. Your willingness to keep pushing forward when others will give up is what steps you apart. Remember this. You do not have to be perfect. You do not need to figure it out. You just need to keep showing up, keep learning, keep adapting, keep believing in yourself, even when it's hard, especially when it's very, very hard. I will tell you that success does not come overnight. It's built on one decision, one risk, and one long day at a time. I would say this, one contract at a time, one handshake at a time. Come to our network. That's what Hackoff is built for. You are in a journey that very few have the courage to take. I will tell you this. I will pay some of my cousins, my brothers to be in business, but it's not for them. But you're here today. I appreciate that you come out to support Hackoff. You have the courage. You have the courage to be here on a Saturday. I will tell you that. Take pride in how far you come in your small business, wherever it may be. And I'll tell you, just like Dr. Moise, stay hungry for what's ahead. The world needs people like you, your ideas, your vision, your leadership. Stay focused. Stay fearless. Do not let anyone tell you no. Your no is not my no. Can you guys repeat that with me? Your no is not my no. And above all, never stop moving forward. You got this. Today is my last day of the conference. I will be leaving Hackoff the end of the year. This is who we are. We have to pass it to the next generation so they can do better. Okay? I want to say thank you to all of you for coming out, and especially our panel for giving us this Saturday. Yes. Thank you.
Let's give it up for Carl, Nikki, Dr. Moise, Dr. Castor, and of course, Princeton.